Hi, this is Mandy with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today's class is the database overview. If you are watching this live with me here, please place your questions in that chat box. And if I don't see them while I'm teaching, I'll be sure to stay after and get those answered for you. And if you're watching this back on recording and you have any questions as we move through this class, definitely reach out to us at support at scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to see how we can help you. So also for what I'm going to cover today, if anybody here would like to know, our class recordings will be posted on that YouTube channel that I just showed you within the next 24 hours. But you can always go there and grab one of our archives and go through it as well. That way you can slow it down, stop it if you need to, and follow along in your own command, however you would like to do it. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can see on your screen, this is the sign in page to command. Just pro tip, the username is not case sensitive, but the password is. So if you ever fail to log in here, you can click on this little eyeball right here, and that should actually show you your password. Highly recommend putting your cursor after and also before your username and password. Make sure there's no extra spaces there. That can also cause your sign in to fail out. Okay, we'll go ahead and sign into command. I'm going to go over the contacts tab with you in detail. I'm also going to show you how to import your own contacts. After we go through those meat and potatoes, I'll show you some of the back office stuff, some of the settings that a lot of people don't know are there. You probably will not use them very often, but I definitely want you to know where they're located. So first off, let's go over here to the contacts tab. It's on the left-hand side of your screen, the little icon with a person in it. If you're not super familiar with these icons, click this red square and it'll pop out the names for you so that you can go ahead and see the names of each of the tabs. You may also hear these referenced as the applets. So let's click on contacts. Carrie, I see your comment there. I'm sorry it's stuck for some reason and not sharing. If anybody else is not seeing my screen move and see me move into the contacts tab here, please let me know in the chat. I'm not sure why it would be doing that other than maybe your internet signal might have some issues there with showing you my live feed. Um, oh, good. Awesome. Okay, good, Carrie. I'm glad it seems to be working now. Awesome. All right, guys. So this is your contacts tab. I'm going to zoom in just a hair, just so it's not so T9C for you guys. There we go. And so this is what your contacts database looks like. You'll hear it called your contacts tab, your command contacts, command database. All of those things are accurate. This is where your contacts will live within your command CRM. Just some general overview, and then I'm going to go into the features in detail with you. So general overview here. As typical with command, you'll see your search options typically over here in the left-hand corner, which you can see here. We have search bar. We have a way to filter our contacts. We can even create smart views, which means you can set whatever filters you would like, save them so you do not have to filter every time. And that way it'll give you a quick list to come in here and just jump to different views that you would like to see with your contacts. I'll show you how to create those soon. Next, over here we have our import options if you're going to add more than one contact, a way to add an individual or singular contact. We have some more options found underneath these ellipses, which I'll go to in detail in a little bit, but those are your export options and also a way to check for duplicates in your database. And down here at your bottom, you will see the contacts in different columns. I'll show you how you can customize this view here shortly, but that's the general navigation of this page. So just so you're oriented. The next thing I definitely want you to always look into before you start working on your contacts is up here in the top right-hand corner. Notice that this says our individual name, Scott Leroy, and over here on the left, it says Scott Leroy Contacts. If you are on a team and you want to work on your team contacts, you'll need to make sure that you're on your team profile before you do that. So clicking the name over on the far right, You'll notice whatever is showing at the top is what profile we are currently on, and this says our personal. That means we're working with our contacts on our personal profile. We do have another account, or what is called a profile, and that is our team profile or our team account. Depending on which one you want to work on is the one that you need to be on. So if I wanted to work on my team contacts, I would click team and notice how this now says Dream Team Contacts. Over here on the right, I now see my team name underneath my name, so I know I'm on my team profile. For today, we're going to work on personal, so I'm going to come back in here and toggle back over to our personal contacts. Okay, if you're an individual agent, solo agent, that doesn't matter. You'll always be on your individual profile. Okay, all right. So now that we've got that cleared up, let's actually look at how to add contacts into your database. That's numero uno, right? How to get your contacts in here so you can begin marketing to them. First way I want to show you is the import, and then I'll show you how to add an individual. So let's go up here to the top right and click import. You do have a pop-up window. There's two different types of files you can import your contacts with. You do need to have your files on like a spreadsheet, not like a PDF file or a Word document. Those won't work. You'll want to use something like Excel or even Google Sheets, something like that that you can download into an Excel file. I'll show you those in detail in just a second. At the top, you can see that you actually have an option to download a template from command that's already pre-made. You can do so by clicking this hyperlink right here on the top right. By doing so, it will give you a template, and let me show you what that looks like. This is what it looks like. It already has the headers already in place. Let me space out those headers. Let me zoom in a little bit so this isn't so little for you. So you can see. You would not add any columns to this. You would not add any customization to this. You would simply put your information in each column, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But you would not adjust these headers at the top when using this template. So you can download this template and put your contacts onto this, which I'm fixing to show you how to do. Or going back to our pop-up screen, you can use a custom Excel file or Google Sheets, whatever you have. You can actually drag and drop it here or use the browse option to find it on your device and actually import your contacts on a custom file. I'm going to show you the difference and what happens when you use either one, okay? There's just usually less steps if you tend to use the template. But I'm going to go ahead and move over to our Excel file now so that I can show you the difference. Let me split my screen here with these. On the left-hand side, this is what I would consider a custom file. This means that the columns are in no particular order. It's just whatever I've added. I've added first name, last name, phone number, maybe a home anniversary or birthday, or maybe you haven't even added that yet. Just some generic information you have about these particular contacts. Even on the right-hand side here, you'll notice I've added tags, maybe the source wherever I knew this person from, and maybe some notes. A custom file would be something that you've created your own columns that you want to have, or maybe you've exported your contacts from another CRM, or exported them out of your Google account, or exported them out of a different place. Wherever you've downloaded your contacts from, that would be considered a custom file because it's in no particular order, no particular format. It's just whatever you've saved it to be. Okay. You can use this to import, and I will show you that in just a moment. But over on my right, I want to show you how to fill out the actual command template itself because it does require some specific formatting. Going through this specific formatting may seem tedious, but it actually saves you time on the back end. Over here on your custom file, It may be easy just to export or download your information however you want it, but it may cost you a little bit of extra time and detail once you begin the import process. So there's pros and cons to either way. It just really depends on what you want. If we work with your office, please know that we actually can help you with reformatting and importing your contacts. So you can reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com if you would like assistance with this. So let me show you how to fill in this template really quick. I'm going to go through the columns just to briefly explain how and why. If you have your custom list, you can copy and paste your information. You can click the cell, right click copy, and begin clicking on your template. Make sure that the color bar is all the way around the cell that you've selected, and you can right click and paste. You can do that even if you had a larger database. There's a way that you can select the cell. Let's say we had 20 contacts on this list. You can hold the shift key down on your keyboard after you select the first cell, and then come down here and select the last one, and it would highlight all of those so that you can right click and copy in bulk and come over here to your template and right click and paste. So you can copy and paste the information onto the template if you would like to. For today's purposes, I'm just going to expand this so you can see it more, and I'm going to just manually type onto the template, which you can do as well. So when we get into special formatting with this template, I'm just going to move through these columns. You can see that my box is highlighted on a prefix. So you can enter a prefix if there is one for this person. If they have a suffix, maybe you had a suffix instead, like junior or the third. None of that is required. You can import a contact with just a first name, okay? So I'm just going through all of these to say and show how it's an option and how it would need to be entered. Full legal name, you can enter it if you would like, although the system will use the first and last name to create that full legal name. It will include all of the columns that you've entered to create that full legal name. The about column, you can enter any specific information about that particular person that you want to remember. The thing about the about column is there's not really a way to search that field once your contact is in your command database. So you may want to consider adding anything that you would put in the about column in the notes column instead, or even creating a tag for that contact. I'll show you tags in a minute. Tags are a great way to organize your contacts. Next, birthday and home anniversary. As long as you have all three pieces of information, month, day, and year for these dates, it will work. And you can enter them like this. You can do even military. Maybe you do, let's do 85. You can enter them pretty much any way you would like to, even if you spell it out, and it will still work. It doesn't have to auto adjust. You do not have to have it in any particular format. The key is you need to have all three items: month, day, and year. If you only have a month and a day, consider moving this information to your notes column because it will not enter into these fields correctly once it's imported. Okay. Next, cell phone. I'm going to slide over to the right because I want to show you that it gives you the option to enter up to 4 phone numbers per person. Okay, so you can see cell phone, home phone, work phone, and then over here off the screen is other phone. I'm going to slide back left to cell phone. So you can enter any information or as many, up to 4 phone numbers as you would like. Just make sure that you have all 10 digits in that field. You may want to not include like a +1. Also, international numbers tend not to import correctly at this time from this format. So again, 10 digits on the phone number. Let's say they have a home phone as well. Notice the different ways, the different formats that I'm using to enter the phone, all of these work. You can use any and all of these, and it'll be fine. Now that we have 3 phone numbers in for this particular comment, here is some of the particular formatting that is required for this template. Notice our columns in between say only one number can be marked as primary. Is this primary? And it wants you to mark it with a capital Y. That's very important, a capital Y. I need to indicate out of all of these phone numbers which one is primary. Even if I only had one phone number for this contact, you would still need to mark it with that capital Y so the system sees it as primary. So we'll go ahead and put our capital Y right here to mark our cell phone as primary. The other 2 phone numbers would need to not have that Y. Only one can be marked as primary. Okay. The primary number is the one that marketing will use in command. And what I mean by if you do automated texting through your command account, or you create a smart plan for yourself that reminds you to call your clients every quarter. There's a quarterly smart plan you can set up. The phone number that it will stick into your task reminder will be whatever is marked as the primary number on their contact profile. So I'm just minimizing the primary columns just to save a little space on our screen here to move along to the next section. Just a recap on the phone numbers. These are the different formats you can use. Make sure you have 10 digits, and that Y needs to be beside only one, and it needs to be a capital Y. Let's move over to the emails. Extremely similar to the phone numbers. You'll notice personal email, work email, other email. There's 3 different emails you can put on file for a contact. And you still have the primary columns that we were just talking about for the emails. So you can put an email in. Let's say I only have this contact's work email. So go ahead and enter that. And I think I might already have that email on file in our command. So you're seeing me make it be a different email. Our system has fail safes in place. Command has fail safes in place to help prevent duplicates. If you are trying to import a contact that has the same phone number and the same email, or the same email as a contact that's already in your command, it will reject that and it will not import that additional contact because either that email or that phone number is already in use in your command database. And I just believe I may already have somebody in there with demo at fake email. So I just added S's so that it'll import. All right. And so let's say this is the only email I have for this particular person. So it's definitely going to be his primary. And so I'm going to add that capital Y in this column. It's the column to the right that applies to this email. Okay. This column would apply to this email. So I'm marking it as the primary. That means any marketing I do through command that it involves this contact, that is the email that it will use for that contact. That's what it means to mark it as primary. Going to minimize the little primary columns, just make them a little teenier so that we can move on to the next section. Next section, you will see primary address. When entering an address for a contact, it does need to fill in these columns as far as like the city, state, and zip goes. Make sure that you have these filled in. The country is optional. You just want to make sure you're not putting your whole address in this first address line 1. That will cause it not to map correctly when you enter it. So use your other columns. Over here, these are the 2 columns that you really want to pay attention to. It wants you to add a label to this address, either home, work, rental, vacation, or other. So make sure you're including that. We'll just say this one is home. In the next column, it wants to know if this is that person's mailing address. This is important if you ever use like you want to export mailing labels or you want to send a direct mailer through your command system, something like that, like maybe a postcard or a flyer. It wants to know if this is the address it should use for that. Very similar to it asking about the emails, if they were primary or not. So let's use a capital Y to mark this as yes, that would be the mailing address. To the right, it lets you add 2 additional addresses for contacts. You'll see other addresses, other addresses. You can enter these as you would like. You do not need to have a label or mark it as mailing if there is no extra address added in those fields. Moving on to the right, now we're coming into the very end of the template, and we notice that tags is the next column. This is extremely important. This is the way you would search through your contacts. You can filter your contacts by tags. You can organize them, group them. It's just a way to keep in touch. Think of them as labels on file folders in a file drawer for those of us that are old enough to remember such a thing when things were still on paper. Um, so tags are just labels, ways to identify. So you would just want to make sure that your tags are separated by a comma and a space, like such. Let's say that this is actually family, comma space. They're a buyer, comma space, and anything else. Maybe if there was an about that I had about this person that I would want to add, maybe a company name that they work for. So we'll just put Sears. And so you can add as many tags as you would like to. Highly recommend pick at least one blanket tag or bulk tag to apply to every single person in this import. That way, if for some reason something went sideways with this import, you can go and filter to look at every single person that was included in this import so that you can archive and delete them or possibly adjust whatever needs to be adjusted. So pick a tag that would apply just to this import. For us here at Scott Leroy, you will see us use import and the date. So I'm just going to enter that. This is what our tag would look like if we were to apply one. Um, and we would just make sure that that import is listed on all of the contacts within this database or within this file. Next, you'll see source. This is where you met this person at. Well, for me, this happens to be family. If we want it to be, you could put other agent, you could say PTA or church or wherever it is that you've met this person, work or a sports event. Wherever you've met them, you can enter them as a source. If you've gotten them from a lead source, maybe you pay for Zillow leads, you can put that here as well and change that to Zillow. Whatever you would like to be, but there can only be, well, it says you can separate with comma. Typically, you only see one source per contact in command. This does indicate that you can actually separate and add multiple sources, but within command, there's usually only one lead source associated with each contact. Next are notes. You can add up to about 10,000 characters of notes, so you can add those in here if you would like to, especially if you're pulling this from like a previous database where you might have previous notes. Go ahead and paste those in there. We'll buy in 2025 already pre-queued. And so you can add something in social profiles over here. You can add in social profiles for these particular platforms. Remember, we don't want to add any columns to the template, so only use what is listed here. So if you have their link to their Facebook profile, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, or Instagram, you can paste those in those cells right there, and that will import. That actually helps you with targeting when you start to run command campaigns if you have your social profiles for your clients. All right, so we're done with our import template. So we've got everybody on here. I'm just sliding all the way back to the left here to the beginning. Let's say you have it fully filled out. You remembered to do your whys for your primary, and now you're ready to import it. So I'm just going to save this, and I'll show you what it looks like to import this into command. Go ahead and minimize this. Remember, we were right here, and now we can browse for this file. It's uploading. Please know you have to use a file that hasn't had the same name as any other import file that you've put in here. So if you get an error, it may be that you use the same file name. It says upload complete. We're ready. You can replace the file if you happen to grab the wrong one. That's fine. Um, Notice that this is a .csv file. Those are the best ones to use. The template is automatically that. It's just a fancy way of saying comma separated value Excel spreadsheet. So it's just a type of spreadsheet that allows the data to transfer and be read as it should be. Think of the tags where we separated it with comma space, comma space. That's why it's saying comma separated value. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue with the import. Again, this is with the template. So please notice that it went ahead and was able to map every column from my spreadsheet to the appropriate column because it used its own template. This will make more sense in a second when I show you the custom fields and it's not already mapped. But it already knew which one was the primary phone. It already knew which one was the primary email. It already knew which one are my tags. It knew exactly where to take that data from the template and plug it in to this contact profile. So you'll notice it all listed here. We'll move down. You can just see how it's all appropriate and correct. And now from here, we can click Finalize Import. It's being imported. It was just one, so it should only take a quick second. We'll go ahead and click Return to Contacts. I'm going to hit refresh. I should have a notification saying the import is done. There we go. And so over here on the top right under notifications, we can see contact import. Your contact request failed. View the log for more details. I'm really happy it did this. That meant that I used either a phone number or an email that was already used, or I did something wrong on the formatting. When your contact import is done, if any of it failed, you will get this notification and you can click download log. And I'm going to show this to you because I want you to be able to see where it shows you exactly why it failed. I'm going to go ahead and open that file. If you are importing a ton of contacts, chances are at least one of them is going to fail out. Here is our, notice the name of it, failed import. Let me make that big again. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it, and it's 19 weeny. There we go. And then you scroll all the way to the right, and it's going to tell me the reason why this failed. So I'm going to go all the way to the right, and here it is. Phone number must be a valid number, and name should not be null or undefined. It should include a first name when creating a new contact. So that may be because I already have, because I put in a fake name. Usually, I'm going to correct myself. Let me back up. Let's address the phone number first. Phone number must be a valid phone number. The system is programmed to pick up on when I made it all the same digits for the phone numbers. Let me skip left so you can see it again. And that I used all ones, all eights and nines. It picked up that those are not valid phone numbers because those area codes do not exist. So it failed to import my person because it knows it's a fake one. So that's where the first one comes in. The next line would apply to this second line here. Well, we didn't have a contact listed in that row, but when I was demonstrating to you guys, I did put my cursor down here at some point and entered something and deleted it, and somehow it has a little bit of a memory and it knew that there was information there, and so it was wanting a name to be on that second row, and there's not a name because we didn't have a contact. So that's why it gave me a little error on that second row. But please know you can always come in here and look from about the BE column on, and it will show you the different errors and reasons why a contact failed to import. You can correct it on this file and try to import again, and they should get imported for you once you correct the errors. Okay, that is using the template. I'm going to close the template and the failed log right now, and we're going to move back over to the custom import. Remember, I said this is just a normal file that you've used to either export your contacts out of somewhere or you've just manually typed your contacts into a spreadsheet. So the columns are whatever you want them to be. Notice our phone number doesn't have a yes to mark it as primary. And the address lines, some of the columns are the same, but it doesn't include all the ones of the templates. And so they really can be whatever you would like them to be. And so now we're going to try to import this, and I'm going to show you how we have to assist command in mapping those columns because we're not using its template. So while this may be easier up front, I'll show you where the detail comes in here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back to our command. We're going to click import again. This time we're going to use our custom file that we did not format. Okay, it has it upload. We're going to hit continue. And here's where we have to map. On the left-hand side, it's showing you the columns with the column headers that we had on that file. And on the right, it wants us to match that to the command fields. So you would actually need to come through here and go, okay, first name, a column that was labeled first name would be first name in command. Last name would be last name in command. Phone number, click this, scroll until you see primary phone number, primary phone. See where I'm going with this, guys? You would need to sit here and map this entire thing in order to get it to import. And for today's class, judging by what time it is right now, I don't think I'm going to finish this. We'll just go ahead and we'll just skip these. So it will skip those columns and not map them. Don't do this when you're importing. I'm just doing this for time. So, okay, we skip those because I want to go ahead and move forward with the import. Once you sat here and manually mapped your columns to the column that would be within command, you can click continue. It would show you what you mapped. Doesn't this look familiar? This is what was from the template, and it would show you, okay, primary phone, it pulled information. All these other columns in command, it did not pull information because I asked it to skip, but it did gather some of the information that I did map. And then you would click finalize import. You get the notice that it is importing. Go ahead back to contacts. I'm going to hit the refresh button and just check our notifications to see if it completed. Your request contact import failed. Review the log for more details. And I would be able to go and download that log and see why it actually failed to download. It's probably, again, the phone numbers or the home anniversary, something I entered that they are picking up on as being a fake or a demo person, or I've already got that person in my contacts with that primary information. Thank you for sticking through that with me. I know that can be a little bit of a long process. That is what imports look like. And we just want to take the time to have this on recording for you to show you how you would import with the template and how you would import with a custom file. Now let me show you how to actually add a contact individually. You would click add a contact in your top right, and we would just go through these fields and manually enter them here. So we would say demo person, and I think this is literally going to be my third. So we'll put the third. You can add a relationship. If this person is related or associated with any other contact within your database, you can add a relationship, choose what the relationship is, pick anything from this list. We can say sibling, and you would put your cursor here and begin typing the name of the other contact. It would populate names from your contacts. We'll just click on the one we want to choose. And now we have that relationship added. You can add more than one relationship at a time. There's a field further down that will let you add as many as you need to. Primary email. You would choose personal, work, or other. Enter the email. And then primary phone. Click right here to choose personal, home, mobile, or cell. and go ahead and enter that. See if it stops me. So far, we're good. It'll stop me on the phone number a lot, saying it's fake phone numbers. Lead source type. You can select from a list of lead sources that you already have created. Like maybe you got them from another CRM, or let's go down. Maybe you got them. I was looking for our landing pages, like a Facebook ad that you've done, or expired listings when you were doing prospecting. You can just pick whichever lead source you want, or if you met this person through another contact of yours, you can choose select from contacts and actually begin typing the person's name. They would come up and you can pick the contact out of your command database that you actually met them through. Going on down, mark as a lead. If you have not had the real estate conversation with this person, go ahead and mark them with a lead. That means you haven't made good contact. They're not aware you're a realtor. They're not aware that they are your prospect. Okay. So go ahead and mark them as a lead if you have not had that real estate conversation with them. Once you have, you can always uncheck that. You can always just come back in and uncheck it if you would like. I'm going to mark it as a lead because I want you to be able to see the little icon that shows once we're done. Tags, remember how we organize our contacts. So I can come in here, I can scroll through the list and grab as many as I would like by checking those tags. I can even put my cursor there and begin typing and click those tags. Also notice if I type in one, let's say I don't have this tag yet, you can come in here and create custom tag and create this tag on the fly, pick the color and add. And it's just created that tag in this instance and applied it to this person for you. Add more information opens up more fields, additional contact information. You can scroll down, choose their preferred method of contact if you would like. You can add an additional email or additional phone number and add even more multiples if you have more than two that you'd like to add. Real quick, this do not contact part right here, just FYI, if this is a contact that is do not contact, you may want to go ahead and check this. It doesn't keep them from being contacted in your marketing. It's just a notification for you that they are DNC. You could come up here and remove their email and put it down here under additional email. That way you retain their data, but they will not be contacted in any marketing that you do within Command, because remember, it only markets to the primary email and the primary phone. So if you want to retain their data, but make sure that they are not accidentally included in any of your marketing, that's just a safe way to just take it out of the primary fields, move it down here to the additional fields, just so you guys can keep that. Okay. I'm just going to move these back really quick, just for the sake of getting this contact made. So just bear with me. Okay, scrolling on back down. Primary address, choose home, work, rental, vacation, or other, or imported. So we'll choose home. You can just begin typing this in. The address, it will pull from like Google. So you can just pick one from the list. We'll just pick Texas. There we go. You can add an apartment. Make sure you click if it is the same as the mailing address, and you can add additional addresses if you need to. Social profiles, you can choose which profile you're adding, add the URL here, and you can add additional profiles if you need to. About, let's open up the about column. You can enter a legal name here if you would like. This is what will show like on their DocuSign and things like that when you begin having them sign documents. You can add a description if you would like. You can add in their birthdays, especially if you're going to use the birthday smart plan. And home anniversary, if you already know what it is, you can enter that as well. There we go. let's pick a date that hasn't passed. And then relationships. Notice we can add more relationships here if we would like. We can even add a work name, and it has tons of companies listed in here, or you can create it if you would like. And you can even um, put in something here for a job title. Moving on to custom section. The custom section allows you to have custom fields. These are custom fields that you can create in the settings that I will show you towards the end of class, but they may be a piece of information that you want to know about a lot of your contacts. Like if it's a niche that you have in the market, something that you always want to know about your client, maybe it is something that you connect with them on, like areas of interest, favorite sports teams, maybe their kids' names. You can even add a custom field. Like think about when you do pie giveaways, you can create a pie giveaway custom field right here, have it be a drop down to where you can mark whether they like cherry or apple, so that when you go to do your pie giveaways at the end of the year, you've already got that data here within your database. You don't have to call and ask or try to get RSVPs. You already know ahead of time which one is their favorite and it's already in here. So just keep that in mind with custom fields. Once you are done adding these, you can click create, and now you've created that contact within your command database. What you're seeing on your screen now is what we call a contact profile. I'm going to go back to contacts just to show you how to get there any other way. See our contacts right here? If I were to click on the contact's name, it will open the contact profile like so. Okay, I just want you to know how to navigate to get here. On the left-hand side, you will see all the data we just entered. You have their name. This little L in a turquoise circle, this is the indicator that they are a lead. We can uncheck that and notice the L goes away. So we can check it again and the L appears, indicating that they are a lead. Contact health score is here because we pretty much filled out every single field we can fill out. So we're at 96%. That's pretty great. The tags we added are right here: primary phone, primary email, and then we get into lead source. It was our other contact, Joe, that introduced us, and account. Remember, we're in our personal account, so it's actually showing us as the owner of this contact. If you're on a team, you may see it look different here. You may see someone else, like your team or your rainmaker, be the owner, and then you may be the assignee or collaborator. So those are some different terms you might see on team contacts. Moving on down, your neighborhoods. You can add a neighborhood to a contact, and this actually helps you when you do things like a monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. That's kind of a mouthful, but basically what it means is that you can add a neighborhood to your contact, add them to a smart plan, and then your system will email them a snapshot of their neighborhood and current listings and market stats every month without you having to fuss with it. So it's great leverage. So we do recommend adding these neighborhoods. They do need to be added manually after the import if the neighborhood did not pull from the primary address on file. Sometimes the neighborhood is generated automatically based on that primary address. In this case, it did not pull a neighborhood. Chances are this is somewhere totally rural or out in the country. And so a neighborhood did not pull. So we can do that manually quickly right now. So let's go ahead and click Add Neighborhood. If I knew the name of a neighborhood, I could type it in here and it would let me choose. But if I'm not super familiar with the actual neighborhood of the name, I can go to Find on Map. I can enter a location if I wanted to here. So they said that was what, Pittsburgh, Texas, I think. So, which may already be right there. Yep, that's already what's on our map right here. So, but you can type in addresses if you want and choose from an address. You could do cross streets, you can do city names, whatever you need to right there in the search bar. But this already has us pegged for our primary address. So I'm going to hold the control key down and zoom in. Anywhere in green is a neighborhood. So yeah, our address was way out in the country. But you notice the green areas, those are neighborhoods. So I can hover over them and it will show me the neighborhood name. And I can click on as many as I would like to. Notice they're being added down here at the bottom. and click Save. You can X those out if you choose one that you don't want to be included, but go ahead and click Save. These addresses will be, or neighborhoods will be added right here on the left. Notice our timeline on the right updated and showed us that we added those neighborhoods to this contact. And now check this out. For this particular neighborhood that's showing right here, I can copy a link or even preview neighborhood stats. Let me go ahead and hit preview to show you what the neighborhood looks like. So let's explore that neighborhood, and you can come down and view the stats, what locals say, a map, market snapshot, and different properties available within that area. So you can actually copy this link and share it with your clients if you would like. You can just scroll through the neighborhoods and do that. You can also do that on your branded KW agent site, and that way it's branded to you when you share that link. Coming on down, you'll notice the additional information we entered for this person, the social profiles, about column, and custom fields. So that's all listed on the left of this contact profile. Notice you have a pencil here in case you ever want to edit it. You could click pencil here and come in and edit that contact information. You can click the three ellipses right here, the three dots, and have some options as well. We can add to a smart plan right from here. Change account. This is if you're on a team. I could move this personal contact over to my team profile if I wanted to. Um, Also, resubscribe. You will see this on every single contact. This does not mean that your contact unsubscribed, okay? And archive. You could archive this contact and move them to the contact archive in the back of your settings, and so that they would no longer appear in your contact database. On the right-hand side, you'll notice different tabs. Now, we have tip videos and tutorials that go into detail about every single one of these tabs. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I just want you to see them, that you can have a timeline that will show you all the activity for this person, opportunities that this contact is linked to. You can even create an opportunity from right here, which is your way of building or creating a transaction. Smart plans. You can add them to a smart plan from right here or see the ones that they're added to. Any tasks associated with this contact would be here, or you can create a new one. Your notes, and you can add extra notes, and saved searches. Think about when you have to go into your MLS portal and create a search for this particular contact so that they will get those automated emails showing them the listings that come on the market that meet their criteria. Well, guess what? You can do it actually right here through command. Instead of having to sign into your MLS portal to do that, you can do it through command. Definitely check out our quick tip video or tutorials about that. The client does need to register on your KW consumer mobile app or on your website. So they need to create their own login in order for the saved search to work. We do have a tutorial on consumer mobile app. And so you can either come to the live class or check out that archive on our YouTube channel to find out more about that. But this is what that contact profile looks like, guys. So now that we're done with this, I'm going to go back to contacts on left-hand side, brings us back to our database here. And just briefly, I'm going to go over the navigation and customization in detail for you here. So on the right, remember the three dots for the export. You can choose to check for duplicates. The system will find duplicates that it thinks are the same person, and you would be able to actually view those and decide to ignore them or merge those contacts together. That's a whole process, but you can check for duplicates here. The system will run a scan for you. Notice it says scanning for duplicates may take several moments. When it's done, you'll get a notification right here with the hyperlink to take you to the contacts that it believes are duplicates so that you can handle that. Also, going back to the three dots, you have export options, export all owned, and you could also export mailing labels, either in a spreadsheet or a PDF form. Back over here to the left, your search options. Remember your search bar and your filters. You can sort through your contacts by all these different topics in here. You even have advanced filters as well. If I click on advanced, to come in here and find people that may have information or may not. Maybe I want to know who is missing their birthday so that I can reach out to them and get their birthday information. So I can type that in. There's just a lot of different filters that you can come in and apply. Hit apply if you want to. We're not, we're going to hit the X for today. But these are ways that you can sort through and find people in your database that have certain tags or certain information. Once you sort through this, you can actually customize these columns as well. Notice that primary phone comes first, recently active when they were on our app comes next, last contacted. Well, I can change this order by clicking customize contacts or customize columns. I can choose which column I want to appear by choosing on the left-hand side, checking and unchecking. And then on the right-hand side, I can actually slide them in order that I want them to appear, like last contacted and their email. Maybe I want the phone number up there too. You can drag and drop these how you would like and hit apply and it will refresh. If you do not want to have to do that every time you're looking for this particular type of contact, notice it says save smart view changes, which would update our current smart view. Or I can create a brand new smart view with this by create smart view. That means I would name it. And if I want it to be the way I see my contacts every time I sign into Command, I could make it my default. That way, like if you know you lead gen every morning when you come in, well, you could set these filters to find your leads for you. And so every contact that's marked lead, that would be your default view every time you come into Command in the morning. So you don't have to sit here and filter through or customize your view. You can just get right to business. So just an idea. So you can create that smart view if you would like. We're not going to at this time, but you can always come in and just grab those by clicking the button whenever you would like to instead of having to sort through everything. You also can view this in a different view. So right now we have it in list view. You can come in here and click tile view and it changes the way it looks. This may be a little harder to sort through just because you don't have the column headers, but some people prefer this. I'm going to move it back to list view. And then over here on the right, notice you can show up to 500 contacts per page. There's also a hidden menu that is here. If I were to click on one of my contacts, notice it populates right here. Or if I were to select all, this box right here, I can select all of my contacts up to the 500 on this page, right? And then choose my bulk action menu. I could add an activity, note, tags. I could add this person to an email list or to a smart plan. I could even throw them back to the archive, change it to my team account. I do have the export options right here as well. Remember up here in the top right, that was exporting all. Right here, it would just be exporting the ones I have selected. You can mark them as leads, choose to merge them together if they're the same contact, even remove tags, send text message if you have a Twilio account set up, share a copy, which means you're actually just sharing a copy of their information with someone else, or unmark as a lead. So you have a lot of bulk actions there that you can do to one contact, more than one contact at a time. And that is pretty much it for the contacts tab and navigation here. Just briefly with our last couple of minutes, I'm going to take you to your back office settings just to show you what lives back there in case you ever want to go there, but chances are you won't use it a lot. Go ahead and click your name on the top right and choose settings. This is what you'll hear referred to as your back office to command. On the left-hand side, we'll populate a menu. You'll choose command settings and contacts. Notice there's several things back here. I'm just going to run through them quickly. You have your contact archive. When you are removing contacts out of command, it is a two-step process just as a fail-safe for you so that you don't lose any data by accident. So you would archive them first and it would come and live back here in this contact archive. And then you can choose to permanently delete them or restore them to your command database. You can even select all and delete permanently. A database wipe is also available. If you're on a team, these may be grayed out, but if you're an individual agent, you can archive your entire contacts that live right here in the tab and move them to the contact archive, or you can choose to delete all archived contacts. There is no undo button for this. It is permanent, guys. Your contact tags live back here if you ever want to edit them. You also have lead management. These are rules. When you have a lead come in, you can actually auto apply tags or even automatically add them to smart plans if you create rules back here. You do have lead sources listed if you ever want to edit them. Database cleanup. This is where your duplicates live. You can come back here, check for duplicates, and then either ignore the duplicate or merge them. We have a video on how to do this if you ever want to. Just going back over here to command settings to contacts, the custom fields that you want to add to your contacts, like the pie giveaway, favorite sports teams. That's where you could create them back here if you'd like. And last but not least, your My Logs, which are your imports that you've done. It shows you the file. If I minimize my screen here, it shows the file that you actually imported and then gives you your error file of which ones did not, showing you which contacts failed and why. Your exports are the same, except it shows you the file that you actually exported and how many contacts were on there and when it was done. And that is it, guys. We just crammed it in. I'm 1 minute over time, so I apologize about that. But just want to make sure that you know of everything here in your database overview. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'll be happy to help you. If you're watching here with me live, just stick around for a second, put your questions in the chat, and I'll be happy to get them answered for you. Thanks for watching.